I started last year off by saying that 2019 through 2023 kind of sucked, but that 2024 was going to be my girl, and she totally was. But for 2025, I want this year to be even bigger and better for the both of us, and here's my plan to make it so. First of all, even though we are improving our lives in 2025, that doesn't mean that everything we did in 2024 was wrong or bad. So I want to look at 2024 kind of like you do with your wardrobe when you're doing a cleanse, which isn't that everything is going into toss pile, but you have a toss pile and you have a keep pile. So I want you to get out a sheet of paper and write literally toss and keep, and write down every single habit and priority and just small thing you do throughout your day, throughout your week, your year on that list, and see what you want to bring with you into 2025 and what can be left in 2024. For example, I've talked a lot about this. My health wasn't the best towards the end of 2023. So in 2024, I implemented some new habits to get into better shape. And one of those habits that I'm definitely keeping is taking my multivitamins every single night. Another habit that is a non-negotiable for me that I'm bringing with me from 2024 is an hour on the elliptical a day. This isn't just like for my physical health, that is also for my sanity. And I like to think I'm a little bit more sane than I was in 2019 through 2023. However, a thing that I really want to toss from 2024 is absolutely my caffeine addiction. So get your toss and your keep pile. The toss pile is great because then you know, like, okay, these are the habits that we're shedding. And I will link one of my habit videos over here at the end of the video that you can use to see how to get rid of bad habits and implement new habits. But since I already have so many videos talking about how to implement habits, which I have based largely on Atomic Habits, which I feel kind of saved my life in 2024, honestly, I'm not going to go into those specifics in this video today. Second step, we are going to either add or reprioritize something in our life for each of these categories. So you can pick up an entirely new habit, or you can take something that you've been doing maybe on and off, or that you used to do, or that you want to do more of, and sort of just prioritize that in your life. One for health, one for income, one for relaxation, and one for personal development. For example, you can take up running for health. You could monetize one of your hobbies for the second one for income. You can start doing a face mask every Sunday for relaxation. You can start reading more for personal development. There are endless alternatives for each of these, but I do want you to sit down and consider what works for you, what is actually interesting to you. I always say this, when you're creating new habits or when you're writing your goals or reprioritizing your life, it shouldn't be about what seems cool to other people. It should be something that is of genuine interest to you, not just because you should prioritize yourself and love yourself, but also honestly because it's a lot easier to stick with something when you are approaching it from a point of genuine interest and passion instead of trying to impress someone. Trying to impress someone is a motivation that comes and goes if we're being entirely honest with ourselves. But if you're reading because you genuinely love to read, well, then you're going to continue to read. Obviously, we can push ourselves. And I always encourage you to do things outside of your comfort zone. I just think that everything should come from like a positive type of motivation, at least if possible. If you're entirely fueled by vendettas and that's your thing, then sure, go off. When it comes to the health aspect, obviously there are a few different things you can do. You can increase your water intake, eat more vegetables, sleep more, work out more, and increase your intake of vitamins. Like I said, multivitamins are super important for me. I will also recommend something that I've been doing lately, which is taking my mental performance shot from Magic Mind. What is really great about this shot is that it doesn't just give me mental performance, you know, the energy and the focus, but this is also a great way to increase your vitamin intake because, as you probably know, energy is obviously tied to vitamins. So specifically now that it's winter, it's a great time to start taking Magic Mind because of the D vitamins. So for health, if you want more calm, if you want more clarity, if you want more vitamins, get Magic Mind for a 45% discount using my link in the description. So thank you so much to Magic Mind for sponsoring me. Number 2, income. I think this is super important in 2025 because let's be honest, the economy isn't good, guys. We're not at the best point in history when it comes to the state of the world economically, so I think it is better to have several income streams. And a really good way to do that is, like I said, to monetize your hobby. For example, if you like creating videos like I'm doing, if you like knitting, if you like graphic design, if you're a good translator. There are so many ways to make money. Literally just put in your skill and write like make money, you know, speaking Norwegian, make money, writing poetry, make money. You can find a way to add an income stream, and hopefully it'll be a fun way. I literally just added a new income stream 6 days ago. Actually, I got hired as a bartender, which is awesome for me because I do online school. I work as a content creator at home. So even though I love what I do and I love sitting and editing videos, sometimes I get a little lonely. So for me, having a part-time job has always been a way I can like get out of the house and see people without having to like push myself and motivate myself as an introvert. It's such a win-win situation. And that's the cool thing about getting an income stream. There are so many other byproducts of a job or an income stream than just getting money. It's not just about that. It's about being able to be social or using your skills or just taking some time away from yourself. You know, when I'm super stressed, going to a part-time job has a lot of time been like my time to actually just like take a break from whatever else is going on and just focus on the job at hand. That can be a benefit of a more monotonous job. But then also, let's say you're great at crocheting, you start your own crocheting side hustle. First of all of a sudden you might have a giant business on your hands. Congratulations. Or you just get more valid time to spend with yourself doing something that you absolutely love. And especially if you're an uptight Virgo like me, sometimes you won't allow yourself to relax. But if it's for work, then whatever you need to do just sort of goes. And if you have to crochet for 10 hours a day, then so be it, right? Because it's your job. That being said, yes, a lot of us have a problem with relaxation, and that is something we have to tackle head on, not just in the income thing, but we need a hobby for relaxation as well. And I'm going to be honest with you, I've been going back and forth on this. So I don't really know what I'm going to implement yet. Hopefully I'll have an update in February. One thing I absolutely do like to do though, is just like going for a walk in the woods. Luckily in Norway, we have so many gorgeous forests everywhere. So that's really easy. And it's something that feels worthwhile too, because you're like outside in nature and it's just a positive thing. Might be trying out some new physical activities too, because I feel like I've gotten over that peak of like, oh, I can't believe I'm forced to go skiing. And I'm like, oh guys, wouldn't it be cool if we went skiing? Like, I'm low-key getting old. So yeah, I'm really gonna work on that. And please let me know if you have any suggestions for relaxation in the comments. I already do skincare and stuff like that, so not that. Number 4, personal development. This one I'm sure of. I am going to reprioritize reading and like literally read the books instead I'm gonna read. I love reading. I've loved reading ever since I was a little child. But ever since I started studying, I have this problem I feel like a lot of people do where you don't prioritize reading enough because you're reading school books and you're like, oh, but I have to read a school book. It's like, you have to read regular books too, like for yourself. I read more comic books, I will say, because it's shorter. But you know, I want to read To the Lighthouse. I want to read The Hunchback of Notre Dame. I want to read The Monk. Like, I have these books ready to read, and I just haven't done it, and I have to do it. So hold me to that. And you too, find something for personal development. One thing I really recommend, if you can afford it, that I use, that I'm obsessed with, this is not an ad, this is just something that I'm like so obsessed with, is this app called Elevate. I use Elevate for grammar. You know, I'm not in America, so it's really nice for me to be able to practice my English. So I use it for words, to like learn more words, to remember words, for grammar, for speaking, writing, reading, like my reading proficiency, reading quicker, stuff like that. They have a math portion and a memory portion, so I use those as well. I struggle with ADHD, so my short-term memory leaves a lot to be desired, and it has helped me really with my math. Like, it really has. So Elevate, I 100% recommend. Absolutely recommend that. But also, like I said, reading is great. Writing, painting, anything like that that means something to you. Once you have decided on what you're keeping, what you're tossing, and what you're adding to your life, you have to make a schedule. You can't just say, oh, I'm gonna do this. You have to remember it. You have to see it every day. And the schedule has to be realistic. So if you get up at 8 a.m. now, don't be like, I'm gonna get up at 4:30 a.m. every day and go for a run. Because if you make your schedule unrealistic, it's because you're just setting yourself up to fail, you know? And the goal here is not to fail. The goal is to do it. So don't set yourself up to fail. Don't give yourself an excuse to say, oh, it was too hard. If this is too hard, then that's your fault, because because you're setting your own schedule, you know, and don't do that to yourself. What I have done for this reason, because it makes more sense for me, is that instead of writing when I'm doing things, I write what I have to do in a week, and then I write what I'm doing each day of the week, and then I just cross it out, you know? I don't write from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. on Monday I'm filming. Instead, I just write on Monday filming and a little box that I can check it out, and then I can make it make sense with all the parts. So like every day when I wake up, I look at my list, see what I have to do, and then I sort of mentally be like, okay, I'll do that then do that then, because then if something unforeseen happens, I can deal with it. But if I already had my schedule so rigid and then something unforeseen happened, I would just toss out the schedule, and that's what we don't want to do. So I do it that way because it works for me. You have to make your schedule in a way that works for you. What I do too is that I'll write out, like when I start my weeks on Sundays. So on Saturdays, I write out my schedule. And when I have a list of what I'm doing that week and I'm placing things on each day, I have some days where I have more room, you know, specifically like Fridays and Saturdays. So then on Fridays and Saturdays, A, I can be social, and B, if there's any slack I have to pick up, I have an opportunity to do that. And I review how the week went at the end of every week. Every Saturday, I sit down myself, a little Zoe Robertson business meeting, and I look at the week. I score my week because I followed the 12-week year. So I actually like give a percentage of the week and sort of review it, and I will see then if I need to make any adjustments for the next week. And the thing is, you know, if you've decided, oh, I'm gonna read more, I'm gonna prioritize reading, and you write, I'm gonna read a book a week, and it's just not working, you're not able to read that book, fine. I'm gonna read 10 chapters a week, or 15, or 5, and then you can adjust based on how well you're doing. It's sort of like when you're a contractor and you're setting your rates and you say, oh, 5,000, and someone says that's too high. So on the next, you say 3,000, they say yes. And you're like, oh, you said yes that easily, I must have set it too low. And then you end up at 4,000. And it's sort of like a guessing game. That's what you have to do with your weeks too. You have to see, okay, what can I fit in a week? What do I think is realistic? If it's too easy, add more. If it's too hard, take some away. So keep doing that until you get a system that makes sense. And then obviously as you get more used to it and things go easier, you might need to up the ante again. Or if life gets hard and things happen that are unforeseen, you might have to slow down. But if you write everything down and you have each and every week written down, don't delete anything, remove anything, but have it look back in the archives, you can find a schedule and a system that works for you. But you have to work with yourself, not against yourself. You have to be on your own team, not just like, hey, you're gonna do this and that, but you have to be like, okay, let's just sit down and see like how we can actually make this happen, because I deserve better health, I deserve more income, I deserve to relax, and I deserve personal development. And it's as simple as that. So I'm not gonna say, oh, you have to do your schedule like this, but I will say I have videos on schedules, and I will say you can Google, you can listen to books, like I said, the 12-week year I totally recommend, or you can just, you know, wing it and see what works for you. If it works better that you plan out your whole day, or you just like write bullet notes, or that you even just plan your week and just get everything done according to how you feel. I don't know how you work best, but I know that you do. Then choose your goals and figure out how to track them. So in this video, we are mainly talking about habits and lifestyle, but it's more fun when you can track your progress. I personally believe that, because a lot of time we make progress and we don't even know it because we're not looking back. Me and my friend were talking about this the other day. She's an athlete. She was reviewing some of her old videos and she was like, oh my God, I can't believe, like, that's crazy. I can't relate to that anymore. And I was like, oh my God, I was saying the same thing, because I was looking at some of my old videos and I would have never filmed in that way or like said those things. And we were both having this experience of like, if I didn't have that video to look back at, I wouldn't even have known that I'd develop myself as a creator or as an athlete, but because there's documentation, I can see there's a giant leap from this to this. So if you have goals and if you track yourself, like, you know, how runners and stuff are obsessed with tracking themselves, it makes sense. It A, gives you a sense of achievement, like, oh my God, I hit that milestone. And B, it actually makes you work harder, because it's like, oh, if I just like run a little bit faster, I can totally nail this, and it's a PR, and it's going to mean a lot to me, even though I'm doing the exact same thing, but now I know it. Plus, you clicked on this video not because it said how to be a little bit better than I was last year. It's how to change your life in 2025. If you want to literally change and transform your life and reinvent yourself, you're gonna have to do some big things. You're gonna do a lot of small things to get to those big things, but you need to know what you're doing and why. And I will keep saying this until I die. It is better to have fewer, more impactful goals. Yes, a year is longer than we think, but it's also shorter than we think. So maybe have a few goals in a few different areas. Like for example, 1 or 2 health goals, 1 or 2 income goals, 1 or 2 family or friends goals or whatever. I don't know what you people do. But don't have arbitrary goals. Have goals that really, really mean something to you and that you can track. So for example, I did a 12-week year, so I like to track where should I be every week in regards to that goal. You can do every month. You definitely have to do every quarter, but you have to have some sort of system for tracking your goals. Not just seeing, oh, have I reached the goals? Have I not reached the goals? But how close am I to reaching the goals? And once you have your habits, your systems, your schedule, and your goals, everything should be somewhere where you can look at it, see it, track it. For example, just remind me of everything I should be doing this quarter. I have my quarter specific Q1 of the year, or 12-week year 1, if you will, of the year as my lock screen on my phone, so that every day I can look at it and see what my priorities are. And I also use, like I showed a couple of videos back, a notebook where I track every single day and week, and it also starts with my goals for the year. So it's just really good to look at, because every day I open a notebook and I see, okay, this is the main focus of these 3 months. What do I have to do this week? What do I have to do today? And then I track it by crossing things out, and I also track my progress and how well I'm doing with the scheduling, as well as how hard I'm working, by tracking the percentage of my goals reached that week. Or not my goals, but my habits and actions. I actually don't track like if the goals are reached or not, because whether or not the goals are reached are more of an indicator of whether or not I have done what I should do. So I track the percentage of things done that I should do. This includes my daily habits as well as the actions that I've assigned to each day and to each week. And in a 12-week year, they say like aim for like 60 to 80%. If you do 60 to 80% each week, you should be in good progress, But I absolutely need you to look at your goals every single day. So I would recommend either and, or you can do both. A specific Notion built out for this, for tracking your progress and for planning, or a notebook. Or even if you have like a poster in your room saying like 2025 goals. It's just looking at our goals, reminding ourselves of them daily really, really helps with staying on track. Because you think, oh, I'm not going to forget my goals, but how many people get to December and look back at their New Year's resolutions from last year and they're like, oh my God, I hardly remember writing this. People do forget their goals because you get lost in life. If you don't focus on what you want in life, life is just going to push you around, Obviously, yes, focus on one right action at a time, but also, if you don't know where you're going, you're just going to end up somewhere. So you have to have goals mainly as a focus to know what you're going towards, not just to motivate yourself, but also just to remember to do the right things. Because yes, we can actually forget things that totally matter to us. We can. And depending on the type of person you are, you can absolutely also, for the goals, which you should, again, put into smaller goals for each month and maybe even each week, you can totally give yourself rewards for that as well. At least what I would do is like cross something out or like fill something up just so that you see the progress, because I personally get a little bit of a feeling of a reward from that. You can also like take yourself out for ice cream, or something bigger if it's a bigger goal. It depends on what it is. But no matter what you do, to change your life in 2025, sit down and really, really think to yourself, who do I want to be when the year changes again and it's 2026? Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much to Magic Mind for sponsoring this video. Please check out my custom link over here with a 45% discount on the bundle, and please check out this video to see how to implement new habits into your life. Stay tuned and subscribe for more videos on personal development. Bye!